Okay, it's no longer morning, it's good afternoon, everyone. I just want to get a read of the, you can't hear me? Oh, wow. Okay. I'll be controlling and I'm coming to stand with you guys like this. Can you hear me now? It's a bit creepy, isn't it? But it's fine. We'll be really close so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do it like this. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm a bit confused because this, talking, yeah. Okay. Who is a founder like now, has started developing a concept or is a founder? Okay. Awesome. Who's thinking about becoming a founder? Awesome. How the founders, how long have you been a founder? A little over a year. And you? 3 years. Awesome. So I pitched this a bit like I wasn't sure about the audience, so I pitched it midway, okay? I didn't want to start completely at the beginning of strategy, so we're diving right in terms of why would you even want to be a founder in the first place? What are you trying to do? And then we'll work our way. And then please, anybody who wants to interject and ask a question, let's make this interactive. It's not a lecture, we're not in school, so let's really just come out. All right? Okay. Righty-ho. This was working before. Okay. So just what this investor's blueprint is just looking at what two sides, strategies for a founder when you're trying to get your startup running, and I'm going to go towards the end in terms of what investors are looking for when you are pitching for funds. And I'm going to take it, I was talking to a lady earlier when I was in the green room in terms of even when you're pitching to friends and family to give you money for your business, it's just as important as if you're going to an institutional investor because you're taking someone's money and you have a responsibility to give them returns. So that's the way I'm looking at this. And also just understanding, I really have a huge respect for founders because it's a real long, lonely journey. Please be aware that it looks sexy and cool on the internet, but it's not. It's super lonely, and at some points in your journey, you're going to be the CMO, CEO, CMO, CTO, floor cleaner, mopper, everything, coffee maker, tea maker, and then you're still going around begging people for money for your business. So you can just imagine how overwhelming it can be. So we need to really, before you even embark on it, I always like to say, are you sure you want to be a founder? Or you want to be like me, someone who looks at founders' businesses? I'm just joking. But just having that knowledge, it's not an easy road. And I really respect anybody who goes down that road. I've been on the side of being a CEO of a business, but that founder status of starting an idea from scratch, it's tough. It really is. And so you really need to have resilience and tenacity to really go down that route. Okay. The job to be done. What do you think a founder is trying to do when you want to be a startup? What do you think you're doing? Anybody?
Solve a problem.
Create value. Solve a problem. Yeah. 2 perfect answers. So I'm going to say what is the problem? People don't buy products. They buy something that solves a problem for them, right? And what problem you're trying to solve is really clear. You have to have clear in your head. And if there are many people already solving that problem, what are you doing differently? Otherwise, you're a Me Too product and you're just praying for the best. From the customer perspective, we look into the why. So I've got a problem, but what is motivating me to even think I have that problem? What's my desire? What's my aspiration? What is it that's really making me perceive that as a problem and this thing you're trying to give me is a solution to that problem? Next is in terms of need identification. You really need to take time to understand customers. It's psychology, I don't know if people know that. People think that marketing is some cool thing. It's really psychology, getting into people's heads. In my former place of employment at BBC, we had cameras watching people's pupil responses to TV commercials as part of the science. So that shows you how deep marketing is when people think, oh yeah, I just got in, there's a radio jingle and it makes us dance. It's a little bit more than that because it's emotive connect to make people understand what they're responding to and you're building on. So again, like I said, you have to ask the right question. 1, what's the job to be done? 2, the why behind the need. That's in your time as a founder, you keep revisiting that. It's not a one-off question. You constantly ask that question because at some point, your problem, might not be relevant anymore. The market changes. So you need to constantly be looking at that and also be engaging with your customers to understand, have their motivations changed? What are their objectives? What are their needs? What have their life situations changed? The need I had in college is not the need I have when I've just started working, is certainly not the need I have when I get married, and it's certainly not the need when I have children. And when the children have all left the house, you know grandparents' needs is totally different as well. So you know you need to be understanding that. So remember this slide. Understand the pain points. Identify where the customers want you to go, where they want to end up. It's about them. It's not about you. You can have all the emotions you like. It's for your business. But always remember, keep the customer front of mind and explore existing solutions. Never think that you're the genius that's invented the wheel first. Some people drink their own Kool-Aid. Have you heard that saying, drinking your own Kool-Aid? Founders drink their own Kool-Aid a lot. You can imagine I review a lot of proposals and you're talking to them, but you're not the first person to come up with this solution. But it's a better solution. I said, there's no difference between that solution and the one that exists. And you have to tell them really kindly because they're very, it's their child. And I'm telling them their child isn't special. You imagine your mom, you tell them your mom that you're not special. So that's that. Now, the cocoa. When I got the brief, they're like, how do we build a 10x solution? Because that's what we're trying to do, right? You want a product that will scale. You don't want to sell 5, you go to a pop-up shop and it sells 5 units and you're very excited with yourself. A business needs continuous growth and you have to have X number of revenue you're turning. If you take $100,000 from someone, there's an X multiple you need to return to your investor. It's agreed at the beginning. In an ideal state. Obviously the world is happening, devaluation, macros, all sorts of things, but in an ideal world, it's an agreement to say, shake my hand, that you're going to return 3x to me. I gave you 3 million, you're going to give me 9. That's the agreement at the beginning, right? So we have to always be thinking of that, how we're going to 10x the solution as we go along. So I'm taking it from the basics. So I just said, let me just start basic first. First, you need to, like I said in the previous bit, understand your competition. You are not the rocket science genius that invented the wheel first. Always just pretend, even if you are, pretend that you're not. So understand the strengths of your competition, what the features are, the pricing, how they communicate to their customers, i.e. the marketing, how they service their customers, the customer service. Understand, you really need to identify their weakness. You need to go and buy all of those products and test them yourself and really see where there's a gap, because that's what you're really solving for, right? People already have demand for the product when there's an existing product. They like it, it's great, but you're now trying to find out where there's a gap. And look at reviews. It's wonderful, all these online reviews now. You can just go, anything that has 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, or 0, that there's an opportunity there. And then understand their strategy. What's their business model? What's their pricing model? What's their target audience? How's their overall approach of getting the product from their office to your hands as a consumer? You need to understand that because there's another opportunity there to do it differently, right? And that's where you're looking, really understand your competition. When you don't understand your competition, that's why they too, you think they're waiting for you to come and destroy what they built. They too are also watching you. So if you think about it, it's like spying on each other all the time, constantly being paranoid. What's my competition doing? What's my competition doing? And that type of thing. What is your USP? What's your unique selling point? What's your unique selling value? Why am I listening to you? Why am I looking at your product? If it's a me too, why should I care? So you need to always define that really early in terms of what's the customer going to benefit from this? How are you making their lives better? And that's the core of value. How am I making the customer that's buying this thing life better? Competitive advantage. We discussed all those things of understanding what the competitor is doing. So now you need to define, what am I doing differently that's going to give me an advantage that will make people buy this thing? And then once you've done all that, you really need to articulate a value proposition statement. That is what keeps you focused. You need to write it out, because when you can't, that means you can't sell it to me. If I don't know my own value of my product, how do I explain it to anybody? Talk less of an investor. You can't explain it to the customers, you can't do anything. So you really must articulate, my product goes 10 times faster than whatever. My product is pink, I'm just saying pink jackets, pinkier than the next person's pink jacket. And therefore, the fabric is softer and wonderfuler and all of that. So the you need to define that when you're doing your value proposition statement. Knowing your target market, customer segmentation. I cannot repeat this more than anything. Some people like to spray and pray. Do you know what that means? When you don't define a segment, you just pray anybody's going to pick it up, which is kind of stupid sometimes when it's not Coke that's been around forever. But if you do come in, and when you don't have infinite amount of money as well, when you spray and pray, you must have a lot of money to back that up, because that means your messaging is going to all those different segments: children, moms, single teenagers, old people, whatever. And that messaging has to be different because it has to resonate with me. So you need to have a clear target market so that you're maximizing your resources. You're capturing, I want 10% of the 18 to 25 market. That's your, and the women. You can even be gender specific. I don't want to talk to men, so that sort of thing. So really be clear about that. And then the customer persona, you have to go and read about it. This is a real scientific thing. Understanding how your customer looks and feels, what they do. I'm talking to men who wear gray suits and brown shoes and white socks and hats that bend this way. That's the persona. They live in Ikeja on Oduduwa Crescent. You go that specific when you're defining the persona. So you need to know a lot about them because you're trying to speak to them. The way you speak to a daddy that lives in Oduduwa Crescent of 70 years old is not the same way you'll speak to his son who's 16. So when you know the persona, you'll know the marketing message you're developing for that product or service. Now, market research, please, please, please. People like to just jump in and think that they're geniuses by themselves or do market research with their friends. And you know your friends are great, but they love you. Parents are great, but they love you. So the real feedback isn't coming because they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they think everything you do is great anyway. So you need to really take that time to go out to people who know nothing about you. It's like cold turkey, going on the street and just asking someone that walked past you, what do you taste? Here, take this piece of gum and tell me what you taste about it. They don't give a shit about it. Oops, excuse me, ladies. They don't give a toot about you. So they would tell you how they respond to the product. But people who know you be like, yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah. And then you're not really getting real feedback, right? So you need to, once you've done that thing of defining your target market, you will now do the competitive analysis of who is serving that segment. Then you'll come back and say, okay, what are their needs? And you need to go and interview them. What are you looking for in that new app that helps you wash your clothes? Like, and get the detail. That's the insights that you need. And then after that, you'll now take what you've taken from the competitors and what you've now taken from the market and decide what am I learning? What's the question that's come out of this? What's the opportunity that's come out of this? What am I now solving for? So that's what market research helps you. It zones in. So you come from a high level idea to a bit more granular, and then you can now focus as well. Okay? So surveys, focus groups, and you can do this on WhatsApp, and there's so many free online things that you can use these days. So don't feel like it's some arduous task, but you need to definitely be finding random people to do it, as opposed to people that are in your circle already, right? Okay. Did I skip? Okay. Product roadmap. So we now found out what the people want, what type of person I'm talking to, what the gap is. We now have to do our product roadmap, which is finding the features of the product that we're trying to develop. So we've done that. Now for tech, because they said this was a tech situation, everybody's all teched up here. You need to break that product development into small chunks. You don't just go from 100 to finish like that. You need to break it into small chunks, and that is how you release your product gradually. Test it, send it back to the focus group people. Oh, what do you think about this? Take feedback. They liked it, they didn't like it. Change it again. Keep going backwards, forward, so you get some sort of equilibrium. So you need to do that. Also, and that's the iterative development that I'm talking about. Small, so back, engagement, so you get something close to a minimum viable product where they're not complaining too much. So you can now take it to market. A product will never, hold this thought, a product will never be perfect. A product is like a human being. We're constantly changing. You're adapting to the world. You get a tan, you go out in the sun, you get browner. What? So waiting for a perfect product is stupid. You need to get it out there. It's better to even send a slightly faulty, not a complete F9 product, oh please, but but one that at least has some. You put it out there. There's some positive response, so you want to get it out to see, can I push this more? Can I get messaging around it and see if it'll push? So that's one that's very important, and always track. I put 5 out, 2 were bought. That's 2 out of 5. That's a fail. You track that. Next time I did an iteration, I put 5 out there, 3 bought it. This is the feedback. Constantly monitoring data, 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 data. I know everybody says data is the new oil, but it is, because you need the information to make informed decisions. Now, building that 10x solution. So you've defined the problem, and you've done this whole brainstorming of ideas with a team or people that you have trusted advisors. So let me stop on that. When you first start, you might be just you. So you might need to find experts in what you're trying to do that you ask, can you please help me think? That's really what you're asking me to do. I've got an idea, I want you to just help me see if I'm thinking logically. You will need to get that very early on. Some advisors, before you start thinking about board and structures, are just people that either are experts in, let's say if you're building a tech product, you have someone who's good in tech, coding and whatnot. This is, okay, can you check what I've done? Some sort of validation. So that's what you're doing there. So when you've done the solution, you now build your prototype. You quickly, like I said just now, there's never going to be a perfect what? Product. Never, 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 never. So just get that minimum thing out there and get feedback, because that's how you do build a perfect product, right? So that's going to be that going backwards and for iterative, jump to the top. You need to be doing that all the time. Okay. Speed is important. Do not think you're getting all fancy and getting emotional with this thing. You're wasting time. The faster you do that iteration thing, the better it is for you. Do not faff around trying to make it pinkier. Like I said, the pinkier jacket, a pink jacket is a pink jacket. If I'm colorblind, I don't even know it's pink. So therefore, just go to the market with it. So build quickly. Do not wait for perfection. That's just what? Stupid. So you will not move forward. You need to get out there, get feedback. You need to test frequently. Like I said, put it out there. Do a UAT. Grab 5 random people. Give them the product. Let them try it out. Get that feedback. Understand which one did they like, which one didn't. And blind testing as well. Don't let them know which one's the right. Like if you have a thing that you know has sugar, doesn't have sugar, sometimes you want to just see how they respond to each. So that sort of thing. And learn quickly. Get that insight, put it in your document, say what did I learn from this, keep it moving, and refine and repeat. So you got that insight, refine the product, send it out again for testing, and you do that quickly. Don't faff around in this whole rapid prototyping. So again, just to reiterate, collect user feedback, analyze, prioritize because there's going to be a lot of feedback that's not useful. So you have to be very sure and clear what you're prioritizing. So if I got 100 pieces of feedback, if a lot of it came back repeatedly, you know that's the one to prioritize, because that's consensus, as opposed to one dot down at the bottom and you're spending a lot of time on that dot. Is a dot important? Yeah, there was a dot on the packaging. Is it important in the grand scheme of things? Who else noticed it? Nobody apart from this really anal person that has a microscope for eyes. So leave that one alone. So, and then quickly implement the change. You got the feedback, that's the whole point of going backwards and forward. Implement the change quickly. So, for tech companies, not just tech, but even just products generally, when a customer wants easy onboarding, easy access. If it's a service, how do I get it? It needs to be easy. I need to the form must not have 500 lines. You know, think about it. I want ease. I want to start using this thing that I told you I like as quickly as possible. So think of that very important thing. For people building tech solutions, when you're doing integrations to another external party, that integration too, your APIs need to be simple. As if you can get generic ones, even better. So just be thinking about that as you're building your products. Easy to use interface as much as possible. A front end interface, so I can do everything from the front as opposed to constantly having to go to the back end code. Better. But even if it's a real product, how to wash my face needs to be clear and concise if I'm being a facial product, if I'm doing anything like that. Personalized experience. So this is a new thing. Not new, but people like to feel special. So we've taken all that feedback, but people want it to feel like you did that feedback just for me, right? So it's so important that you're trying to create a product that makes it feel, oh my gosh, Yewande built that product just for me. She's never met me and she's made a product just for me. So that's what you're trying to do, right? And exceeding expectation. You said when you put your promise out there, don't overpromise. Sometimes hide a bit of the surprise thing so they can be, oh my God, it's even more amazing than they said it was going to be. So those are the things you need to do in delivering that 10x experience. Customer journey, like I said, onboarding needs to be seamless. Engagement, you need to find a way to easily get that feedback from your customers. And that's why sometimes I think the lady in the morning session was talking about community engagement. So when you're building your products, trying to build a community so that they can give you that feedback without having to organize a focus group. You're getting it, do we like it, do we not? And they'll give you that, because they love you, they're part of the community, they'll be honest with you as well. And repeat usage is what you want. To acquire a new customer is expensive. To retain a customer is easier. So you need to make sure customer retention is at the top of your mind. Yes, you must grow. So retention is constant, and new acquisition is like growth. So you don't want to lose those existing customers. So make sure you're doing whatever you can to retain them. So the retention means you have a longer relationship with them. They keep coming back and coming back and coming back. All right. So again, I think I said this just now as I was talking. User-friendly interface, tracking the engagement metrics, building that community, personalized content. It's all for me. They built this whole business for me. That's what you're trying to get there with engagement. Constantly gathering insights. You must not stop because you've now got sales. Really and truly have to keep that going all through. Gathering insights, analyzing the data, prioritizing which one is important, and then iterate and improve the product. So there's a lot of matrices, and I'm going to say this for two reasons why you should know your product. This is not exhaustive. If you're building a fintech, for example, or a bank, you'd have, or a lending product, you'd have things like non-performing loans, things like that, so, or net interest income. So I'm just putting some generic ones here. You definitely want to always know your customer acquisition costs, no matter the product, that's generic. The customer lifetime value, how much money can I extract from this customer throughout the time they'll be buying my product? Monthly recurring MRR is, if I have a budget, how much revenue am I getting each month recurring? You don't want that to drop in an ideal world, what it does. And then you have average recurring revenue, something that relates to subscription type products. So you need to be clear on your matrices. And net promoter score, am I likely to recommend your product to someone else? So know these different matrices, and there's zillions of them, but you need to know which ones are important to your product or service. So scaling, you'll hear that a lot when you start growing in your business. You can't be constantly, I sell 5 products a month. It's not gonna work, because investors are looking for your opportunity to grow and scale. It needs to be in your mind. I know it's a lot of pressure. I heard that last week with some of our portfolio companies, that you telling us that we need to scale is it gives me anxiety. Well, as I told you, founder is not an easy thing, or choose which one you want to be in. So optimize for growth, expanding your market reach, trying new segments. So after you've sort of cornered the 6, what did we say at the beginning, 18 to 25?